wins, 2 top 5s. Best finish was second back in 1999 when he dominated the afternoon. And, you know, this year, in 2001, we have not had a winner come from outside a top 3 starting spot. Jack Sprague started 7th by virtue of starting in points positions because of rain washing out qualifying. So we could see another first here in 2001.
You see Travis Quapple right there in the red and yellow truck. That's the interval between first and second. For Joe Ruttman in the Dana Dodge third, we caught a glimpse of him. As you mentioned earlier, Travis Quapple, he's finished second twice this season at Homestead and in Martinsville. He's actually won 2 races, as you mentioned earlier, on this racetrack.
Back in 1999 and 2000, there is Joe Ruttman. Being shown in third spot, Ruttman led once for 25 laps. Back before the first caution flag came out in the Dana Dodge. Ruttman the winner at Daytona. Behind him would be the 2 truck of Scott Riggs. That's the points leader, Team ASC CarQuest Dodge. Riggs coming in with an 85-point lead over Joe Ruttman by virtue of his 6th consecutive top 5 finish at Darlington last week. Has not finished out of the top 5 this year. Behind him is his teammate, the one of Ted Musgrave, who had all kinds of woes at Darlington. Musgrave, the 3-time winner this year.
I think they've definitely improved on that Musgrave truck right now. Again, we mentioned earlier he'd settled in about 7th, but he's really racing right now with these trucks up in the top 5. See Ricky Hendrick in the 17 trying to looking on the inside of Ted Musgrave, was not able to pull up beside him.
There's Hendrick, and how about a call for the 75 truck, the Spears manufacturing efforts for Billy Bigley out of Naples, Florida. Wayne Spears owns the truck. Mark Blessing, Doug Wolf, the in-house engine builder, having one of the best runs they have had this year. They have come off back-to-back top 10 runs at Gateway and Darlington, but right now having maybe the best run outside of how this truck ran at Homestead when he was running in second spot. They could easily get a top 5 here today.
He certainly could. He's looked a couple times on the inside of Ricky Hendrick, was not able to pull the pass off. Really getting down in the corner extremely well. Not quite able to get up beside Ricky. Actually, he is up beside Ricky right now. We'll see if he can hold that all the way down the straight. No, again, the outside line has the momentum.
And Bigley being shown in 7th spot, and Dennis Setzer finally having a good run. He's had all kinds of problems this year with Setzer, but the Axiom Chevrolet really coming around. You know, Dennis Setzer made a lot of moves in 2001, changing teams and manufacturers, but the biggest difference is working with a team based out of Oklahoma, which he has found has both advantages and disadvantages. Setzer is this week's one to watch.
Well, the disadvantage is probably is getting parts here. You know, instead of being able to run down to the Hutchinson Pagan or BSR or something right down the street, which would be in Mooresville, we have to ship that in and do that. But the advantages are, you know, we got good guys and we're training them the way we want them to be. And those guys can't load their toolbox in the afternoon and go to another race shop right down the street. So, you know, they're happy to be part of a race team. There's a lot of people in Oklahoma that love to go racing for a living. So these are kind of the pick of the crop in that area. So Danny's been able to mold these guys just the way he wants them. David Dollar's been doing that for a few years. So it's pretty impressive what they put together.
Indeed, Setzer, a 5-time winner in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competition. His last win coming at Nazareth back on July 15th of a year ago. That was 14 races ago. So he has 78 starts, 5 wins, 43 top 10s, driving for Morgan Dollar Motorsports in Hennessy, Oklahoma. Pretty good year for Oklahoma. Those Sooners doing pretty well in college football. That's the Axiom Chevrolet of Dennis Setzer. Let's check in with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, I really think Danny Gill coming onto this team has really helped a lot. Dennis Setzer says he has a lot of confidence knowing Danny's record in the Craftsman Truck Series. The truck he's driving today, they call Kenny. They named it after the South Park character. And this is the truck that they ran at Bakersfield. And he was running really well before they crashed. He was up to second at the time. So they know they've got good equipment. They've got a good crew chief now. I look for the 46 team to get better each week.
And indeed, they are getting better and better. Danny Gill coming on a couple of races ago was the crew chief for Dennis Setzer. Right now, they're chasing Jack Sprague. He's the leader after 102 laps. Welcome back to Pikes Peak International Raceway. We are past the halfway point. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Phil Parsons, Amy East, and Ray Dunlap. Live coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series 7th stop on a $12 million 24-race tour. And they're chasing that man right there, Net Zero Platinum Chevrolet driver Jack Sprague, 2-time series champion, trying to get his first win here of the 2001 season.
Good battle for 11th. Chuck Hosfeld in the 50. The Eldon Ford, Jack Roush, Terry Cook on the outside, the 29 truck. Great run for Chuck Hosfeld. He's had a lot of bad luck this year. He's well on his way towards the top 10 finish. He's in 11th right now, so really look for good things from Chuck Hosfeld. Look at trouble with Terry Cook. Looked like he had maybe a right front tire go down. Actually, it's actually a left rear tire. You can see it right there. You can see it right on the wheel. He had a left rear tire go down, going into turn 1. Great job of holding that truck.
And no caution flag, so he will have to come down pit road under the green. We have only had the one caution flag. A tough break for Terry Cook, who came in here third in the point standings, just 104 points out of the lead.
Terry has not finished out of the top 10 this year. You see a lot of the debris from the tire falling off. Let's go down to the check-in with Terry Cook's pits with Amy.
Well, remembering what Bob Keselowski said, they've kind of been scratching their heads here for what has been just a nightmare of a race for a team that has finished in the top 10. Every race so far this season came in third in points. Terry Cook now making his way slowly down onto pit lane, which it does look like there is a flat left rear tire. They didn't say anything over the radio as if Terry could feel it going down, if he ran over something, or any indication of what happened here. They are struggling to get the jack underneath. They now have the jack underneath and are going to change that left rear tire for Terry Cook. It looks like now he's going to be assessed a penalty. 15 seconds from NASCAR official for speeding onto pit lane. This is, when it goes bad sometimes, you guys, it really goes bad.
Boy, indeed. Insult to injury. You saw Brian Keselowski, the jackman, trying to get the jack under that truck to get it up. And there's what's left of that left rear tire as part of the carcass and part of the... So he did a great job, as you said, Phil, of saving this truck, keeping it out of the wall.
He sure did. He went up high. I thought it looked like maybe a right front tire had gone down the way he took off to the right, but what he did is just, instead of trying to turn the steering wheel, the truck would have spun out. He just let it go straight, got it slowed down, was able to keep it out of the wall, did a great job. Unfortunately, he's going to lose 2 or 3 laps in the exchange.
So we've got 2 cars or 2 trucks in the top 10 in points already have trouble. Tollsma, who was 6th in points, is behind the wall with an engine failure on his big white truck. And now Cook, who was 3rd in the point standings, has a tire go down and loses a couple laps in the pits. And he is being shown at least 2 laps down, back in the 22nd position.
Good battle for 4th right now. We've got Scott Riggs, who got by these lap trucks. Lap trucks are running side by side, kind of blocking Ted Musgrave, but Ted now is able to get by the 4 truck of Bill Lester, now moving on the inside of the 86 truck of Jason White.
Good to see Bill Lester back in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, making his 2nd start for Wayne Day, the 31W Insulation Dodge. Musgrave wiggles a little bit.
Ricky Hendrick in the 17 truck pulling right up on the bumper of Ted Musgrave.
Go by the 86 truck.
It's an incredible statistic. He's led 252 laps on super speedways. What NASCAR calls super speedways are tracks that are paved, obviously, at least 1 mile in length. Those are super speedways.
Interesting, we talked about how Dodge had dominated this year. Chevrolet had not led a lap since Martinsville back in March. They're doing a heck of a job today. Battle for position here again. Travis Quapple, the rookie, in the 60 truck, 25 years of age, and a 56-year, 6-month-old veteran. But he doesn't look 56, doesn't look a day over 54. Talking about Joe Ruttman behind him, chasing him. We're having some fun. We all love Joe in the Dana Dodge. All right, 118 laps in the books, and there is Rick Wren and the Cat Rental crew talking about what could happen for their rookie driver, Travis Quapple. Travis Quapple has clawed his way to the top of the rookie points battle, scoring 3 top 5 finishes in just 6 races. He survived Darlington with a 6th-place finish and now heads to Pikes Peak, where he already has 2 victories in the RE/MAX Challenge Series. With 2 runner-up finishes in the Truck Series this season, victory lane could be just over the mountain. And in the shadows of majestic Pikes Peak, this young man is showing why he has been so good at this racetrack over the years in NASCAR's RE/MAX Challenge, formerly the ARTCO Series. Holding on the 2nd spot, getting a challenge from the veteran Ruttman, but Quapple coming out of Janesville, Wisconsin. Driving the Cat Rental Store Chevrolet, brand new truck for Rick Wren, Mike Eddington and crew, and he's holding his own on the bottom of the racetrack.
Good look here at Travis Popple. That's what a driver sees right there. That's what he's going through right now. You see not a whole lot of turning on the steering wheel. You see him turn down in the corner. He just kind of gives a little bit of steering wheel input, and then as he comes off the corner, he'll start straightening back out.
Well, Phil, Travis Popple's been on the radio saying the truck is much, much better, but he is just a little bit loose in the middle, so he said they'd like to fix that. And Rick Wren reminded him that on the last pit stop they took right side tires. This next time they're going to put lefts on it, and that will certainly change the chassis. But the other question I have, Phil, is what is this weather doing? Because we've had a good bit of cloud cover, and now all of a sudden the sun just popped out. So will this track change much?
Well, Ray, you would think so. The rule of thumb is when the racetrack is cloudy or cool, it's a little bit tighter. When the sun comes out, it actually, rule of thumb again is it gets looser. If Travis is already fighting a loose condition in the center of the corner, this should actually make it worse. So he will have to adjust on this truck. But again, left side tires may help that situation too. We'll probably tighten the truck up some, which Rick Wren's planning on doing on his next pit stop.
Absolutely. Last rookie to win in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competition. How about Kurt Busch? Last year at California, October 28, Busch, the final of his 4 wins in the 2000 season, where he finished runner-up in the points and won the Rookie of the Year award. Popple, though, not leading here. He was running in second spot behind Jack Sprague, and that's a look out of the back of Popple's truck. You see the... And speaking of the last wins for Ford and Chevrolet, how about Ford's last win? That was Busch's win at California Speedway. Last win for Chevrolet, Brian Refner. I miss Brian Refner here on the series. Hope he gets back quickly. That was Texas Motor Speedway for John Menard, driving the John Menard truck back on October 13th of 2000 in Texas.
It'll be good to have that actual truck back with David Starr at Texas in a couple weeks.
Yeah, Mike Starr, if you just joined us, Mike Starr, David Starr's uncle, who runs Team Texas. They're the driving school at Texas Motor Speedway, bought that truck from John Menard this week, and we'll have David back. And David is a very talented race driver.
He certainly is.
Okay, these are second and third place trucks here. We mentioned Sprague is leading. Cadet Zero Chevy, Cat Reynolds Chevy in second. Dana Dodge is third. Back in fourth spot is Scott Riggs, our points leader. Team ASE, Clark West Dodge. Amy?
Well, just checking in with the ASC pit, and it seems as though Scott is saying he's got an extremely loose truck. So loose, so severe, that they are thinking of disconnecting that rear sway bar on his next visit down pit lane. And Phil, that means it must be a really, really loose truck for Scott Riggs.
Well, it certainly does, Amy. If you remember, at Homestead, they started the race with the rear sway bar hooked up, unhooked the rear sway bar because the truck had got very loose, and actually moved back to the front, got back in the top 5, and had a great finish at Homestead. So if they can do that same adjustment, then he should be in good shape.
And there is Riggs' teammate, the Mopar Dodge, for 3-time winner Ted Musgrave, being shown back in 6th position. Musgrave in the 1 truck started in 8th spot. Back in 5th spot, I should say. And right behind him, he just passed Ricky Hendrick, 4th position. Ray Hendrick now back in the 6th spot in the GMAC Chevrolet, right where he finished here in his debut a year ago.
We talk about Travis Popple taking the rookie point lead over Ricky Hendrick. That battle's going to go right down to the wire. Those two guys run well every week.
And that means the future for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is very, very bright. There's Dennis Setzer in the 4060 Axiom Chevrolet, being shown in 7th position. Setzer started back in 16th. Good run for the Morgan Dollar Motorsports machine for Setzer and Company. David Dollar and Charles Morgan, the co-owners of that Axiom Chevy.
Billy Bigley, Dennis has actually got by Billy Bigley in the last few laps, but Billy's got a great run going, coming off a couple top 10s in a row, top 10 in points, and doing a great job here in the 8th position.
Give a call to Mark Westling and the company. Doug Wolf, the in-house engine builder for the Spears Manufacturing Chevy. For Billy Bigley out of Naples, Florida. I think a driver who has been overlooked a little bit this year has been Rick Crawford in the 14 truck. Back-to-back 4th place finishes for Crawford. Driving for Tom Mitchell. Rockin' Ray Stonkus, a crew chief on that Milwaukee Electric Tools Ford. And there is Rick Crawford. This is the truck he had at Martinsville, where he finished in 7th spot, but he had a 4th place finish at Gateway and backed it up with a 4th at Darlington. The track too tough to tame. And oh, what a tough break for Tom Carey, coming back and going underneath the hood there in the 03 truck.
Tom had a great run going. Got lapped just before the caution came out on lap 70 or 71, but great to see Tom back in the Craftsman Truck Series.
And here's the 10th place truck, Chuck Hosfeld. his best run of the year thus far, and we knew this young man would get better and better. Thanks to crew chief